So this is a big buck hunter that we picked up, and the guy was storing it in his basement in the city, unclimate controlled. And so what apparently had happened at some point, probably from the moisture, because these are not vinyl decals. These are paperback stickers, just giant paperback stickers. So moisture got to the sticker, and it was all rippled looking. There were big hollow spots under here where it lifted off. And when I tried, removing the rest of the sticker with some heat and a scraper very carefully, it exposed what looks like the sticker probably completely came off the cabinet like this. There's no stickiness left on the sticker in this area, and it appears they probably laid the cabinet down and they dribbled Elmer's glue or something all over this, and then just flopped this back up thinking it was going to hold, but they didn't spread the glue out. If they had done a better job and actually painted this with the glue, it may have actually held. But it ended up looking like complete garbage because you had this whole area that was delaminated from the machine, so it was like a giant bubble. Plus all these areas here where the glue was also bubbled up. So what we're trying to do is fix this without it looking too horrible. I realize no matter what I do, it's going to look bad because you've got paper missing off the back here. We've smoothed this out as good as we can as far as when we lay the paper back up, not having lumps of little pieces. See all this paper here? Little pieces of paper from me trying to scrape it off from them gluing it however they did. We've tried to make this as smooth as possible, just scraping it. I'm going to leave that on there so that the paper has something to try and make it smooth. We've peeled this down and vacuumed all behind here with a crevice tool. Now this side over here had started peeling, but they hadn't touched it, thankfully. So this whole area here was peeled away. It was being held on by one little tiny bit of glue. So this one I've already fixed. This one was easy because they hadn't messed with it. Now you can look at even the riser. It's hard to see, but it's peeling and there's ripples all here. You can hear all that. That's ripples. It's bubbles, air pockets where the sticker is no longer attached to the riser. The other side, the riser is the same way. I've seen other ones do this, but not this bad. So this guy's basement was probably very, very damp, and this paper sticker probably started getting saturated, I'm guessing. So there's a lot to repair as far as that, but the machine itself, I mean, it's still got the plastic protection on it. The guns work, everything works on it. So other than the stickers look like crap, which we could always buy new stickers and replace them, the machine's a nice machine and everything does work. So what we did on the first side is we cleaned it up and we used this Gorilla Glue heavy duty adhesive. You can see I've taped here because we don't want the glue on the J molding, and I left a lip on the tape here because we do want the glue to go to the edge. And I have it up in the back to try and, even though I'm going to try and be very careful and spray this and spray this, I'm going to hold something behind here so we don't spray the side of the machine by accident, but we also don't want it getting on anything else. You could do this with probably a brush on adhesive, but just for time's sake and all, this is what we're going to attempt to do to fix this. So follow the instructions on the adhesive. You want to get this smooth. You want to try and get this smooth so you don't have any pilling of the paper here, because the pilling will definitely make it look worse once it's back on the side of the machine. And we're going to use a soft face squeegee. That way when we're pushing the decal back up, it's less chance of tearing the sticker, especially since it's not a decal, it's a sticker. It's unfortunate that arcade1up went this way. I mean, I'm sure it's way cheaper than having a vinyl decal printed, but when you have issues as an end user, it sort of limits things. Plus, if somebody like kids put stickers on top of this, and you try peeling them off, it can delaminate the image from the paper backing and destroy that also. So I have stickers all over the place, but on my machines, I make sure I use a sticker paper that's a removable sticker paper when I make the stickers. That way, should I decide to peel them off, they should come off without damage. Now, I'm not sure if all the 1-up machines are like this, or if it's only older ones versus newer ones, because I know on the decks, there's definitely a difference on the decks. The older decks have this paper, and I've noticed some of the later decks have the decal is actually like a heavy plastic, like you would find on a real machine. So I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason to the sticker versus this paper sticker versus like a plastic sticker that's really nice on these machines, or if it's just, it is what it is, it's what they decide to use on that particular machine for whatever reason. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to spray this. We're going to let it sit for a couple minutes, and then we will squeegee it out and see how it looks. So we're going to pause the video. That way it's not 10 minutes of nothing happening that I have to manipulate the video to make it fast forward. You also want to make sure this is clean and degreased. So you may want to wipe it down with some alcohol. I don't know about putting anything on this because it's just going to soak into the paper. So when I say wipe this with alcohol or something, you want like a cloth that's moistened or dampened lightly with alcohol or whatever you're going to use to degrease this. You don't want it soaked where it's going to run down behind here, because if it runs down behind here, more than likely it's going to damage any adhesive that's still working. So we're going to do that, and we'll come back and see what the finished product looks like. Hopefully it looks decent. And at some point later on, we'll probably address these on the riser. Hopefully they didn't try and repair them already, and at some point maybe they just peel the rest of the way or start to peel away where I can fold it down like this without causing any additional damage. So we'll be back. Okay, so we are back. Everything got sprayed with the adhesive. I sprayed both sides just to be safe. This adhesive doesn't require both sides, but I wanted to make sure that it was going to stick. So we left it dry for a couple minutes. Wear gloves. Have something on hand also to protect the rest from overspray. So when this was folded down and I was spraying, I was pulling down the corner of the decal under my thumb, and I was making sure it was pulled tight and away from the machine so I could get down in the crease. And then I came down to this corner and did the same thing. But we don't want glue accidentally sprayed all down the front of the machine, because remember, we had blue tape blue painter's tape on the edge molding and on the edge of the marquee to protect that from overspray. Then it was simple as just letting it dry for a couple minutes and taking and going over it, bringing it up like this very slowly, as if you were applying a brand new vinyl decal, and just keep dragging it up and get all the way to your corner, and then that should hold. Now, what you're going to do is, this is, I believe, repositionable technically for a short amount of time if you read the can. I do not recommend peeling it back off once you have it stuck like this to try and fix something. So you definitely want to make sure that you're working it upward towards the end, up and out, so that you don't end up with an air pocket. Because if you end up with an air pocket, since this is a sticker and it's paper backed, trying to peel it back off to get that air pocket out, you're going to destroy you're going to completely destroy the sticker. You're going to shred all of that white off the back that's still there, and it's just going to destroy the sticker. So hopefully when you applied it, you did it from the middle out in both directions and worked any pockets out as you went along, keeping the sticker off as you work it up. Because if you start working it up and you just let the sticker flop on there, then you're going to have a better chance of really ruining what you're trying to fix. Now, again, I realize this does not look the best. The purple sky and stuff does help to hide this, because all these dark spots, that's where there's no paper behind here, where the paper had been glued to the machine with, I don't know what they used, and when I peeled the sticker back, even with a scraper and some heat, this ripped off of the sticker itself and was still stuck to the machine. It didn't look too bad until you spray the glue on. The glue soaks into what's left of the sticker where the white is missing, and it darkens it. Plus now it's thin in that area, and it's up against the black that the side panel has on it. So again, this is a way to try and fix it so you don't have to go buy a new sticker, because a lot of people's machines are up against another machine anyway. You've got a small gap, so there's only so much you're going to see. So at least having the sticker stuck on there looks better than having it hanging off. And a can of this spray, it was like $12 and something at Home Depot. Make sure you get the one that says heavy duty on it and follow the instructions. You may want to use something else. That's up to you. I'm just trying to give an option on what to do here as far as trying to fix the sticker without having to completely remove it and purchase a new vinyl side decal off Etsy or wherever. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody. Again, you can see this one is peeling. The other side is peeling. And actually I see, yep, they tried gluing this too, because this right here where the white is still stuck, that's the way the top looked. So apparently this must have peeled also in their basement. Also, people that put these out in garages that are not a climate controlled garage, attached or detached, it doesn't matter. I've seen the same thing happen. It's just moisture just gets in there. Moisture gets into the sticker because it's paper backed, and it just starts to delaminate from the machine. Like, there's no stickiness here on the sticker, and there's no stickiness on the machine. So the moisture caused this to peel, and once it peeled, just the atmosphere in the garage ruined or basement, wherever it was kept, from not being in a climate controlled area, caused this to just dry out. It may also happen if it's in an area that gets very hot. You make that adhesive fail. So those are things to think about when you're setting up your arcade also. I'm not saying that you have to have climate control and all that fanciness, but these are things that can happen. And yeah, these are not made like original arcades. They're not designed to be on a boardwalk in a giant building that has roll-up doors that's exposed to saltwater air and humidity and everything, like the original ones were back in the 80s and 90s and stuff. So again, I gotta, eventually we're gonna have to do something down here. There's a little snag there that I can repair more easily. Now, I've attempted on little stuff to use good glue stick, like a good Elmer's glue stick, something like that. And I've had mixed results. So that's also something that you can try when it's small stuff. Because obviously something like this, you're not going to be able to hit it with spray adhesive. The other thing you could try is if you were to get some type of a contact cement that comes with a brush, like in a bottle with a brush. And then you would want to smooth this out as best you can and put tape around it so that when it's laying like this flat and you're trying to brush the adhesive on, you're not brushing the adhesive, slopping it all over everything else. And then the part up here, I would just do it very carefully. Follow the instructions, let it dry, and then you would want to smooth it back over as best you can in the direction. Hold on, let me get the light on here so you can see. So you would want to smooth it back over, going the direction towards where the tear is completely ripped off, away from where it's hinged on the flap right here, and very carefully smooth it out. You can probably do it with your fingers, but again, I like to try and use the squeegee that has the cloth or felt or whatever it is on it. That way, it's less chance of causing more damage. If you use just a plastic side on these stickers, because they're just printed stickers, there is also the chance of you not only causing damage, but there's also the chance of you actually scraping some of this picture off of these stickers. And I'm not just talking just a big buck hunter machine, I'm talking all the machines. Since it's literally a paper sticker that's printed on. If you get too aggressive with something, you can literally scratch the this printing right off of it, and then it'll be white where you've scratched or damaged the printing. There's a lot more that needs to be fixed here because the whole bottom of this machine is also peeling. So I don't know that I can see. So all of this does not appear that they have attempted to fix it. So I'm going to attempt to fix this also, even though you don't see it because it sits inside the riser. But if you don't fix it, there's always a chance that it can just get worse. Now there's damage here and all. Granted, it's at the bottom here. It looks like the damage might be from trying to run the screw in to hold this to the base. That would be my opinion on what happened here. So like this hole doesn't matter because that's where the screw hole is. And part of this, I don't know how they did it, but it looks like when they screwed it together, they actually blew out the MDF. So all the black laminate on the MDF is raised, as you can see. So these are also things that you would want to look at when you're buying a machine, because it can also drastically, in my opinion, affect the value of the machine for what you're paying for it. Because You know, stuff like this and what I just fixed on the other side, that's the potential for you to have to spend several $100s on a whole decal kit, an aftermarket decal kit, and a lot of work ripping off and scraping all this off to replace it with new, especially if you can't fix this, because again, it's only going to get worse over time. You know, even though I'm in a climate controlled area with this machine now, the damage is already done. So there's always a possibility for that damage to continue to get worse if it's not addressed. But again, we fixed this here. They hadn't messed with it, and this looks good. There's no weird discoloration or anything like that. So that came out good. And, you know, again, here's the repair that we just did. Like I said, you see these dark areas. Some of them kind of blend because it is a purple, you know, purple sky, sunset, whatever that they've done here. But, you know, you'll always be able to tell that there's some type of damage. But at least the decal's not bubbled up or laying over anymore. So hopefully this helps somebody. I didn't mean for the video to be this long, but I try to put as much explanation as I can into the videos and give as many tips as I can as to what may work to fix these things. So until next time, like and subscribe.